Guys, what do you get when you combine a full-size air conditioner with a solar panel array that comes and injects its power straight into the AC unit? I'll show you. 4.3 amps of free solar energy going into the AC unit and only 3.5 amps getting drawn from the grid. So basically I've offset more than half of the power consumption of this air conditioning unit with that solar array, and as a result slashed my AC power bill. This is version 3.0 of this setup. It's cheaper than ever before. Let me show you what I've done. Before I get into this, I need to issue a disclaimer. You're working with high voltage DC, high voltage AC, electricity. It can cause property damage, it can severely injure you, or even kill you. You also need to check with your local area to make sure that it's okay to do what you're about to see and self-consume power you've generated on site at your own property. It varies from place to place. Use a professional. Do not attempt this on your own. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not going to go crazy in depth on how this is all wired up. I do more of a deep dive on my version 2.0 with the Hoymiles microinverter. So I'm going to leave a link for that down in the description, as well as a little tag up here so you guys can check that out. But in a nutshell, what we've got going on here is we're using something that just comes standard in your air conditioner to our advantage. That's this device. This is called a contactor, and basically it's a big switch that turns power on and off to your air conditioning unit. In my case, power comes in on the bottom right here, and then the switch completes the circuit, and when it does that, it comes out and goes out these different wires that go to the compressor and to the fan motor and the capacitor and different components. What we're doing is using this device as a switch not only for the air conditioner, but also as a switch for the solar, because the microinverters that we're using with those solar panels will not produce any power until they see grid power, and then they'll synchronize themselves and start producing power. So if we use this switch to vary when that solar turns off and on in conjunction with when the air conditioner turns off and on, essentially we are consuming all of that electricity that it's producing with the air conditioner, so long as we don't make our solar array larger than what the air conditioner draws. And so we're essentially able to offset the running power consumption of this major electricity hog with solar power during the daylight hours. All right, let's fire this up and we'll get an amp reading before the solar starts producing, and then we'll see after and see the kind of power consumption offset we're getting with this solar power. Incidentally, this is very temporary in nature, always modifying and playing with different things and stuff like that. So obviously more care needs to be taken to protect this wiring. Usually my circuit breaker that protects the wiring to the solar panels here is in a weatherproof box. But anyway, again, I'm just experimenting here to show you these new microinverters that I've got here. All right, let's check our amps pre-solar here. 7.2, let's call it, amps. Right when this AC unit starts, there is a period of delay for these solar panels to come online. And that's just so that the microinverters can synchronize themselves with the grid. I don't know if you'll be able to see, yeah, there's a slow flashing red light. Once these synchronize, then that will change to flashing green. Guys, the reason I'm making version 3.0 of this is because I'm constantly refining it and constantly trying to find the best deal for you guys. The Hoymiles microinverter, which was version 2.0, is really a good option, but this offering may be better for a lot of you. I partnered with Payoff Solar here, local company, and they sell solar panels and the inverters. Best prices, hands down, on new stuff. You could get something cheaper with used stuff, but if you want new solar panels, new microinverters, Payoff Solar is the place to go. You can order large residential sized panels like I've got here. That's actually where I got mine. And then these microinverters came from there as well. These microinverters are from APsystems. The particular model I'm using is the DS3L. I don't know if you can see, but it's rated for 768 volts amps. So basically 768 watts. There's a variety of different sizes depending on the solar panels that you get. And as you can see, much like the Hoymiles system, these connect to multiple panels. So this is a 2-port version. The Hoymiles is a 4-port version, but even though in order to run 4 panels like I've got here, you need this microinverter and a second microinverter right over there, by both of these combined ends up being actually a little less expensive than one of the big Hoymiles units that run all 4 panels on its own. And I don't know if you'll be able to see, but the LED light now is flashing green. So that means these are officially online and producing power. Let's go check and see how much power it's producing. Okay, so let's clamp one of the solar wires. 4.2 amps of solar power coming in. And if we clamp the grid power coming in, remember how we were like 7.2 before? Now we've dropped all the way down to 3.4. So significant decrease of power being consumed from the grid now. We're actually providing more power via solar than we're drawing from the grid. That's so sweet. Let me just quickly talk about cost differential. So I've got the Hoymiles kit from version 2.0, and I still highly recommend this. If you want to really maximize your solar production, this is the way to go, because it's a 2000 watt 4-panel inverter. You can watch version 2.0 to learn a little bit more about how well this works. But for some of you, you don't need this much power all at once. It's a really good bang for the buck for how much power it provides. If you wanted to scale a little slower, you could do what I just showed you in this last video with these APsystem inverters. $180 times 2 is $360, and then you need the trunk cable, so we'll add that. We need 2 of those for each inverter. So for 2 of these units and 2 of the trunk cables, you end up being $420 instead of $499. So you can hook up 4 solar panels to 2 different inverters for less than this. But it's important that the solar panels are sized correctly to this. In my case, they are. I have 4 370 watt bifacial panels. This one that I tested in the video is 768 watts. 768 times 2 equals 1,536 watts. So doing 2 of this APsystems unit is not the same amount of power generated compared to this Hoymiles unit. And as soon as you add 3 of these, you've now surpassed the cost of the Hoymiles unit, and it's better to buy the Hoymiles unit. So I know that's just a little bit confusing, but if you don't have jumbo panels, 400 plus watt panels, or 500 watt panels, you don't necessarily need the Hoymiles unit. You could start small, just 2 panels, and then add another APsystems on top of that. So go with the APsystems if you want to start small, build a system 2 panels at a time or whatnot. Go with the Hoymiles if you want to just go all out with tons and tons of power. Just a plug here as well for these little stands that you can see holding up my solar panels. If we come around the back here, you can see that they have adjustability points up here to adjust the angle, as well as this telescoping back leg to increase or decrease the slope of the panel. They also come with the big heavy-duty straps that you use, and earth screws and stakes to secure this. So it's a great semi-permanent or long temporary setup for solar panels. You can easily deploy and then even tear down and take with you if you move or whatever. They're from Powered Portable Solar. I'm going to leave links for them down in the description so you can check them out further. They've made a lot of appearances in my videos and are going to continue to. They work really, really well. Now, some of you may ask, well, what about app monitoring? Can I monitor my power consumption with the app? Yes, actually, they have, much like Hoymiles, APsystems has completely wireless Wi-Fi bridge that you can purchase. And if you take a look here, I've got it up, and you can see that currently we're producing 1,126 watts of power. It'll keep track of how much energy you've consumed. You can easily scale it. This Wi-Fi bridge can connect to a whole bunch of these microinverters, so you can start small and scale up, but this easily allows you to be able to see what's going on, how much power you've produced, all of that great stuff. That's available for you to purchase as well if you so desire. It is not a need. Okay, you do not need the app in order for this to work. It will just work on its own. That's just if you want to have some added insight into power generation and what's happening with the solar panels at any given time. Let me cut now to version 2.0 because I want to show you how you can actually add some battery capacity to this. I'm going to show you the most basic entry level one, and then I'm going to show you the most advanced one. So what we've got here is just 2 12-volt, you can see that right there, 12-volt lithium iron phosphate batteries connected in series. If you look here on this multimeter, you can see that we've got 27 volts. That's important. Why? Well, if you look here on the back of the microinverter, you'll see that we need at least 22 volts to start this generating power. And then we need a voltage range of 16 to 60 volts DC. So 27 is going to be enough to meet the startup voltage requirement for this, so that this microinverter will start converting that power to AC power. Next, you will need a solar battery charge controller. Critical piece of equipment. You cannot attach solar panels directly to your batteries. That would be a bad thing. There are 2 places for power to come in and out of the charge controller. This one right here with these PV wires are the wires that will go, and you can see they've got MC4 connectors on them. They will go and the solar panel will connect to them. Let's go ahead and do that right now. I had to use 2 hands, but you can see my positive and my negative. There's my negative, going to the negative of this first solar panel, and there's my positive going to the positive. Next, coming out of the charge controller, we have the leads that go to the batteries. Notice that it's coming from the charge controller to this WIGO connector. I would highly recommend maybe upsizing the wire. Okay, I didn't have a bunch of wire kicking around here. This is for demonstration and testing, but I would definitely upsize the wire a little bit. But the white wire from the charge controller is coming here. It's the far left connector. We have another white wire here in the middle, and it's coming to this wire right here. This is my positive lead, and it's going to connect to the positive on the battery. So let's go ahead and do that next. That takes care of that middle wire. I'm going to come back to this red wire here momentarily. I need to connect the negative to the battery. So we have a repeat of what's happening here on the positive, here with the negative, okay? One of the negative wires comes to the charge controller. That's the far left one. The middle one is coming to this bare wire right here, and that's going to connect into the negative of the battery. Okay, so now that brings us to these chubby wires here. These are PV wires, and that's because I need an MC4 connector. So you can see here's the red wire right here, and it has an MC4 on the end, and the negative has one as well. But these are not the ones going directly to the PV input. This is coming from the batteries, right? This is how the inverter is going to get its power. So we are going to connect these MC4 connectors up to that inverter. Let's just follow this red cable right here, okay? Comes over and plugs into one of those inputs on the Hoymiles microinverter. Nothing else is plugged in. I just want to show you how the batteries work here. You can see we are flashing a green light. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. So that means we are now officially outputting power. Let's go see how much. Okay, so we got our setup over there. We've got a cable that runs through here, into here, and again, watch the other video to see how this is all hooked up. But now this is AC electricity coming in. We've got this wire clamped here, and you can see we're putting in 1.6 amps of power. That's at 240 volts. So if we just do some simple math, 1.6 times 240, we're pushing in 384 watts. Okay, so this is the most basic setup. Regardless, you need a charge controller for each bank of batteries. So this is the most basic minimum 24 volt setup, okay? Now you're going to potentially generate a little more heat and what have you just because of the lower voltage. So let me kind of show you the ultimate, and that would be a 48 volt battery setup. All right, and here's the full setup. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 12 volt batteries, all connected in series. You can see that we're 52.8 volts. This charge controller is adjustable in voltage, so it's compatible with 24 volt, 36, and 48. Let's go take an amp reading. All right, we're connected here on the air conditioner, and look at that, 1.9 amps is now what we're getting. Guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments on other applications for this. I just released a video about using a similar configuration to offset the consumption of electric water heaters. I'm going to leave a link for that down in the description, and maybe even a card up here at the top. But all of you have really good ideas, so tell me any other thoughts you have for heavy power consumption for high power energy hog appliances, you know, like an air conditioner and heat pump like we just saw, like a water heater. I want to hear other thoughts and ideas because I'm always wanting to experiment and try different things. Guys, this video is 100% not sponsored. It's just me out here in the crazy hot, sweating like crazy, trying to help you guys save some money and be creative in my approach. If that is of value to you, please do 4 things for me. Please like the video, subscribe, comment, and share. You guys really don't have any idea how much that benefits the channel. It's good feedback for the YouTube algorithm and helps my videos get in front of more people. But that's really what I'm trying to do, is just get this out there. Please do those 4 things. It takes you hardly any time, 100% free, and it really benefits my channel and will help me continue to produce this kind of content that you guys seem to really enjoy. So that's the hope. All right, looking forward to hearing from you in the comments, and we'll catch y'all next time.